Page 38, Chord Hop. At the top of the page, they're introducing you to an idea that some method books use and most don't. It's called groupings, key groupings, a group of keys. Key signatures, like the key of C or the key of F or the key of G. And they're saying group 1 is C, F, and G. No sharps or flats is C. 1 flat is F. 1 sharp is G. So that's the 3. And they're grouping them together. In my mind, that means nothing, absolutely nothing. But it comes in handy because they are sort of related. You see, in the key of C, that has no sharps or flats, the C chord is the 1 chord. We've been through this before with the Roman numerals, the letter I. That's a 1 chord, it's a C chord. Well, in the key of C, an F chord is a 4 chord, there, IV. You haven't had that yet, but I'm telling you, that's what it is. And the G chord in the key of C, the G chord is a 5 chord. I'll just as well give you a little background on that because I know I'm kind of confusing you. The key of C is all white keys here. We use it a lot to explain things because it's all white keys on the piano. It's easy to see. It's laid out very neatly. So I go C to C and it's just all the keys. Well, in a key, the notes are numbered. We call them steps, step numbers. The first note is step 1. We don't start with 0 in music. It's 1. Start with 1. That's why the chord that's built on that step is a 1 chord. That's why the C chord is a 1 chord in the key of C. So it's step 1 and let's see. Well, if I went step 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I build a chord on that, I get an F chord. It would be a 1 chord in the key of F, but it's a 4 chord in the key of C. Confused yet? Well, hang on, I'm not done confusing yet. So then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a G chord. It's a 5 chord in the key of C because it's the 5th step. It's built on the 5th step of that scale. It's a 1 chord in the key of G, but it's a 5 chord in the key of C. You see, that what key you're in that determines what the number is for the chord. A G chord is always a G chord. In any key, it's always a G chord. But as far as the number goes, it's related to whatever key you're in. Well, the 1, the 4, and the 5 are called primary chords. They're the chords that are used the most. They're the ones you rely on the most. They come out the most. You'll get those more than any other chord in the different whatever you're doing. So in that way it makes sense to group them together. It's simply the primary chords in the key of C. That's all it is though. So we have the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. They're using 5/7. I won't get into that quite yet. Just stay with what I'm saying here. We'll explain more as we go on and it'll make a little more sense to you. With this chord progression, now chord progression is a series of chords, or how chords progress through or travel through, go through. You go through a bunch of chords, that's a progression. Well, look at chord hop. You're starting out with a C chord. You have 2 measures of C chord. They have the chord name at the top above the staff, you can see it. And then the 3rd measure, we go to the F chord. And then 2 measures later, we go to the G chord, 1 measure, and then F chord, and a C. That's a standard chord progression we use a lot. Boogie woogies use it, blues uses it, it's just, if you're into writing or wanting to write music, you can use this kind of a progression. 1, 4, 5, 4, 1 is how they're doing it. You can switch these around in various ways, but these chords, you can rely on these chords. So in chord hop, that's what's happening. You got 2 C's, and then 2 F's, and then a G, F, and 2 C's. Sounds okay. Now, changing hand positions, because now we're moving around. You just gotta love it. Up until this time, for the most part, you should be able to play everything in this book without looking at the keyboard. You should be able to feel it because you're not really moving around. You have to know which fingers are on which keys, and that takes time too. How can I remember which finger is on that key? Practice. You just keep trying it. It comes in time. You'll know when you're in a C position, you'll know which note which finger is on. That's just part of piano playing, and it comes. Don't overanalyze it. Don't try and dig in too deep. Let it happen. It'll come. Well, now we're moving around. So I'm in C position, and now I know what notes my fingers are on. Well, now I got to move to a different position, and here we go again. I'm all lost again. You'll get it. It comes time. So in the first two measures of this, you're in C position. The third measure, we're in F position. They got little arrows there to tell you you're moving. That just tells you you're moving. Those arrows are not part of the music. You don't see that. And we're simply moving the hands up to F position. And then in the second line, we got to go up again to G position, and then down to F position, and then down to C position. We're moving around. Well, we practice hand moves in piano when we need to, because the beat has to be steady. When you're moving around, moving the hands, there's no excuse to mess up the beat. If possible, you move the hands one at a time. Sometimes it isn't possible. You got to move them at the same time. That takes practice. Here, we're going to move them one at a time. We can do that. So at the second measure, you're here. You're still in C position. And third measure, I need to be in F position. So the left hand plays first. So I'm going to move it up. And as it's playing, I move the right hand up. I move them one at a time. And I'm going to do that each time here because the left hand's playing first and then the right hand. The hands don't play together at the same time on beat one. So I can move it one hand at a time, like so. And that's how we're going to do it. Now let's talk about the notes. Well, all we're doing are the chords. That's all the notes in this is just the chords. It's the rhythm. We got 1 and 2 and. During the rest, I get the left hand up, and as it's playing it, I get the right hand. Move up again. During the rest, I get the left hand up. Right, left, two notes. That's here. And then as it's playing, I get the right hand up. As this is playing, I'm going to get the left hand down. And then as that plays, I get the right hand down. And as this plays, I get the left hand down. See, so I'm moving one hand while I'm playing the other. And when you move it is up to you. I usually do it right before. But a lot of times, one hand will move to a new position to get ready while the other hand is playing. That's normal. That's just another thing we work on and we learn, and you practice it, you include it. Because you're going to hesitate at first. You're going to, and then you think, see, now where am I? I got to go here and here, and then I go here. And over time, you'll smooth that out. So, just here, here. Don't try and move them at the same time in this piece. Please don't. It's just, you don't need to do that here, and we need to get in the practice of moving one hand at a time anyway. So let's try that first. I didn't go over the piece because it's really more of an exercise than a piece. It's a 4/4 time, okay, and treble and blicky, all that. They've added words here. You see above the staff at the beginning it says broken chord, and underneath the bottom staff it says solid chord. Well, you have two flavors of chords. You got broken and blocked. Or here they're calling it solid. A lot of them, method books or music theorists call them block chords. The idea is with a block chord or a solid chord, the notes all go down at the same time. However many notes are in the chord, it could have a whole bunch of notes. Doesn't matter. They all go down at the same time. A broken chord is anything else. There's all kinds of patterns for broken chords. You just use your imagination. So this pattern is one of them. It's a chord. It's just one note at a time. The second measure is a broken chord too. It's a different pattern. That's a broken chord. And that's what you're doing. Block chords or solid chords in the left hand and broken chords in the right. There's No rhyme or reason for it. It's just the way this piece is written is all. Counting, it's a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. During the rest, I'll move it up. 1 and 2. Make sure you can play through and get the counting off. Then we can add the articulation where you're connecting. And then you have the staccato. It's just a nice short staccato. Don't accent the staccato. Because you push off, you want to accent, don't. It's got to be the same level. And and both hands are the same dynamic. So you're starting MF, mezzo, forte, or medium loud, both hands. And then the second line, it goes up to loud. Here, both hands. And then you go back down to moderately loud to... Speed-wise, they don't give you a speed. It's up to you. I mean, this is more like an etude or a study piece. It's up to you on how fast you go. As slow as you want to go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Or as fast as you go. Just however fast you go, make sure you're accurate on everything. Now at the bottom of the page, they talk about a chord symbol. Okay, that's fine. It's simply the name of the chord. It's a letter name of the chord. We're in C chords, F chords, G chords, F chords. All right, whatever. If you have a guitar player around, they improvise on those chords. So you can do duets with a guitar player on these pieces if you want, and have them play along with you. That can be fun. I'd like to play this chord hop with you very slowly. Let's just make sure we got it. We need all the practice we can get at playing pieces. So let's just try this slowly together. I'm not going to do the dynamics, just the notes and the staccatos and slurs and all. I'll give us 4 counts and let's try it. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. Rest.